Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News. This is a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, the reason that you clicked on this video, the title, the thumbnail, everything, the news came out this week that FBM has ceased production in the machine shop as of January 1st of this year. The news came in the form of a statement posted online from Crandall himself, and since a lot of you have probably already read it, I'm going to put it on screen right now. You can pause and read it if you haven't, but I do have some thoughts on this that I'd like to talk about right now. So with this news, it seems like there's a lot of people who are acting like FBM is just going to disappear off the face of the earth and never be heard from or seen ever again, and Crandall is just never going to be part of BMX again. And I don't personally feel like that's true. While I don't know, no one except for the people directly involved and Crandall himself really can say for sure what's going to happen next. But I'm of the opinion that FBM is so much more than a machine shop and frames and bike parts. Is an entire lifestyle and mentality, and all of you who have grown up on FBM can attest to that. It's literally just doing it for Albert Street. That's a perfect personification of this. Doing it for Albert Street is never going to stop. It's never going to fully go away, and regardless of anything else that's going to happen, the people who lived it and continue to live it are going to keep that alive every single time they get on their bikes, and it's just going to make the bikes that are out there from FBM that people are riding that much more special to them. And I feel like this just goes to show the fragile state of BMX going into 2020. So if we take anything from this aside from the fact that we're all bummed out that FBM's not making frames and bikes anymore, let it be the fact that if there's something out there that is doing good for something that you believe in and you believe in it in itself, you need to support it, because there's no way to keep it alive without the support from the people who believe in it. It's not just going to sustain itself, especially as we move forward with BMX in 2020. So I don't know what's going to happen with FBM moving forward. All I know is that FBM is so much more than just a company. It's something that lives within the people who experience it every day, and it's never going to die. So that's my opinion on the matter, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about all of this, and if you have any fond memories of FBM or how they affected you as a person or a BMX rider, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm sure that if somehow someone involved with FBM reads these things, it will make them feel better, or at the very least be a way for all of you to come together and share stories and reminisce and maybe be a little less bummed out about a pretty crappy situation. So that's all I wanted to highlight from this week. I feel like there was nothing else that was quite on the same level as that, so I wanted to leave it as that for the highlights. But now we can move into the videos from this week. The first one that I want to talk about comes from someone that Montana Rike did a rider spotlight on a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't even remember, but he was the Rocket Manual King. His name is Pavel Nikonov, and the video is called Until 2020, and it comes from Fakt BMX. Dude lives up to his Rocket King name in this video. Oh my goodness, there's so many amazing rocket combos in here. I think my favorite one was the rocket ice pick grind down the ledge. It's also got a ton of variety as far as what's in the video, and there's even some snow bike clips where he's doing some bar spins and other different crazy stuff on a snow bike. And then when it comes to the song and the editing and the vibe of the video and the filming and all of that, it all just comes together to make a pretty entertaining video from beginning to end, and I think that you guys will enjoy it. And it's definitely something different than everything else I'm going to talk about today, even though it's got a lot of grinding and rails and new school-ish tech street riding in there. It's just different. I think that they put it together very well, and I definitely think you guys are going to enjoy it. From there, we can talk about Look Both Ways from Madeira. This is a split video part between Julius Carrasquillo and Taylor Thompson, and there's a couple things about this one that I think make it pretty cool. The first of those is the fact that the riders are the filmers. No one else filmed anything in this video. Even the clips where you can see the other rider filming appear to be set up by the riders, and they're just still shots from a different angle. And I think that's just alone pretty awesome that these guys are going out together and then making a video of this caliber and quality. And then when it comes to the editing, Jeff Klugowitz did it, and he did an amazing job. All of the different like glitch inserts that are just like video in video segments that I really can't explain without you guys just watching the video are amazing. They add this B-roll that otherwise would have felt crammed in there and there wouldn't have been enough time for it, that just adds personality to the video, even in addition to the actual content of the B-roll itself, where you see the personality of these guys, you see them working together, and it's just This is an amazing video, and the caliber of riding in here, like I said, is so good. Not to mention the fact that these two styles of these guys go back and forth in a way that makes you just watch the entire video. It is segmented into one section, then another section, and they both have like 2.5 minutes-ish, but they both did some really awesome riding. And honestly, if there's one video that I recommend you guys watching this week, it's this one. And there, I talked about an entire video without saying one trick that was done. So for the people who've complained about me spoiling what's done in the videos, there you go. Watch that one without any spoilers. And then after that comes Mike Monday's Volume 2 from S&M. I talked about Volume 1 previously and talked about how much I liked it because the juxtaposition of Mike Hoder, Mike Hucker-Clark, and Mike Stahl all together in one video is super awesome to watch. And this video is exactly the same as the first one. There's not quite as much of Hoder in this one, but the juxtaposition of going from Mike Stahl to Mike Hoder is just awesome. You go from a street clip to a cliffhanger over a dirt jump and then a Superman, and then when it goes back to Mike Stahl, it's got Hucker doing a Hucker line through some trails, and then it goes directly to Mike Stahl doing an over double peg to over 180 out on a little rail setup. I just think it's really cool to see guys with such different styles within BMX who all ride for the same company together in one video, and it was to a point that it was just enjoyable to watch. So definitely check this one out. And then after that, we've got Our BMX's first pro part since Our BMX started. When the guys were at Ride BMX, they were doing pro parts for different riders. It was a Ride BMX pro part. Well, Gasper Gwendolyn's pro part for Our BMX just came out this week, and it's pretty good. There's a lot of really unique stuff in here, as well as a lot of stuff that's kind of new school techish. My favorite clip of the entire video is where he does a manual to down whip to fakie down some stairs. It wasn't a giant stair set or anything, but can you imagine going from a manual to doing a down whip, a tail whip halfway, and then you spin your body the other way halfway and meet it at a fakie? That's just mind-blowing to me. And then there's a lot of other unique stuff sprinkled in there with some tail whips and bar spins and all kinds of stuff from Gaspar. And I think that if you guys are into that kind of riding, you're definitely going to want to check this one out. And that's it for the videos I wanted to talk super in-depth about, but there's literally 6 other videos I want to list off for you guys to watch this week. The first of those is from Nick Ford, and it's called Still Not Dead. Then we've got Matty Cranmer versus Concrete from Vital BMX. Then we've got Riverside Skatepark Mixtape. This was uploaded to Dig. This is a bunch of my Michigan dudes up there riding a new skate park. Dylan Thayer filmed it. He did a great job. Everyone rode good, and he got some coverage on Dig with this video, which I think is pretty awesome, and I definitely wanted to shout that out. Then we've got Fall In, Fall Away from Steve Kolb. This one is another one that will be completely different than anything else you watch this week. And if you guys are into Flatland, this is going to be the video you're going to want to watch this week, because Steve has been getting into Flatland and he's been getting really good at it. Then we've got a video with Semcock from Fly Bikes, and it's called Raw Line, followed by a video from Primo with Miki, Fleck. And that's it for the videos from this week, and now we can move into talking about the product stuff from this week. The first thing I want to talk about here is that Colt made a 26-inch dirt jumper frame. I've got to read about it here over on the Sugarcane website. This is kind of a BMX rap hip hop style website, and they've got all of the information about this thing. So it says on a post from Liam Wallace that Colt hit him up and asked him a while back what his perfect geometry would be for a dirt jumping frame, and then they made it for him. So I don't know if this means that Colt is going to get into the DJ game, but they've got a race frame, so I don't see why they wouldn't branch out to DJs as well. And it could be pretty cool for people who also have a DJ and a BMX bike to have a Colt DJ and a Colt BMX bike. It seems that it's already got a name, the Pump 26, and it says on this website that Colt's trying to see how much attention this gets so they can see that if it'd be worth it for them to produce them. It doesn't have any specs or anything like that out yet, but I know that they're going to want to hear some feedback on this, and if you guys would be psyched to see a Colt DJ frame, you're going to want to let Colt know, and I'm sure that if enough people show this thing some love and attention, that they're going to do it. I personally think it'd be pretty cool to have a Colt DJ, and I've never really been one to want a DJ. So the next product related thing that I wanted to talk about this week comes from Our BMX. I saw it pop up this week. It was where they did a review on the Tubolito tubes. If you haven't heard of these things yet, they're supposed to be half as much weight as a normal tube. They're supposed to be like twice as strong or something crazy like that. They're supposed to affect the rotational weight and all these things. So Ryan Fudger with Ratty Matty and Parker Heath put it to the test. Parker and Matty put them on in whatever you do with a tube, you put it in their tires. And then they rode them and kind of talked about if they felt a difference or put them to the test that way. Then they came back 10 days later and talked about them again, did some tricks. They said how they held up. And overall, I think it was a pretty comprehensive review. I think they could have gone to the streets and did some tricks that legitimately like separate the tire from the bead of the rim just to see if they could provoke a blowout on the tube. But who wants to actually try to blow out their tube while they're riding a bike? Either way though, it was pretty good for what it actually was. And there was a solid conclusion there. And I forgot to mention that at the very beginning of it, Fudger did some tests, and one of them is where he took a nail and put it on top of a scale and then pushed down on the tube on top of the nail to see how much weight it actually took to puncture the tube. And when it came to the Tubolito, it actually maxed out the scale, whereas the regular tube was like 5 or 6 pounds of pressure. So I think that's pretty definitive in the puncture resistance of these tubes. Either way though, if you guys are interested in that, I don't know if anyone is, but if you are, there's a link in the description below, as well as links to everything else that I've talked about today in the order that I've talked about it, as you guys all probably know. After that, we've got a promo video for GT's Safe Street Pegs with Albert Mercado. There's a lot of really creative writing in this one, and it's a very well done and well put together promo for some pegs. They actually show the pegs, they show him putting the pegs on, they show him doing a whole bunch of things that are helped and made easier by plastic sleeved pegs. Then they've got a B-roll shot of the pegs at the end. Overall, like I said, I think it was a good promo, and it was only like 52 seconds long, so check that out if you guys want to. Then we've got one bike check to talk about this week. Like I said, beginning of the year, new sponsors, all of that stuff, bike checks are going to start rolling in. This one is a Kriss Kyle bike check from BSD, and that brings us into the interview stuff from this week. The first thing here is a magic number video from Ride UK, this time with Ryan Nyquist. If you're not familiar with the concept of these videos, they sit a rider down and force them to pick 3 tricks, 3 spots, and 3 riders for the rest of their life. 3 tricks are the only tricks that they can do for the rest of their life. 3 spots are the only spots they can ride for the rest of their life. And then 3 riders are the only 3 riders they can ride with for the rest of their life. It gives some interesting answers, and this time it's with Ryan Nyquist giving his riders tricks and spots for the rest of his life. Then we've got another BMX in Our Blood podcast to talk about, which I'm actually in this time. It's the coverage from the Old Fools Jam at Rays that went down last Saturday. There's so many different people in this one, honestly too many different people to list, but it's got the Potosnies in there and so many others, and it's actually a really good list, and it goes pretty quick with all of the different people in there. But with that being said, that's the last thing I have to talk about this week. Let me know your guys' thoughts on FBM. Share your favorite FBM story, your favorite memory, or anything like that in the comments down below. I want this to start a conversation and keep the community of things going, because right now that's the way that we all keep FBM alive. I want to thank you guys for being here and watching. If you're new here or haven't yet, consider hitting the subscribe button down below so that hopefully we can see you tomorrow for another video. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye.